Hello, welcome to The Good Life. I'm Jakeem Stewart here again. Thank you for joining me here at Drove Stogies. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week and that you are going to have a few moments to sit back and relax with us today here at the Stogie Shop. I figured today I'd start by taking you in having a quick little tour of the humidor that we have here at Drove Stogies. So why don't you guys come on and join me. Let's see what we have in our, someone named this the sandbox, where everybody likes to come and play. But this is our humidor here at Drove Stogies. And the way that we show it to most people is we have our house blends and flavored cigars in the corner. We have a little combination of boutiques and other cigars mixed here more in the middle section, as well as our mid-range down to our more expensive sticks, where we try to provide a nice variety of full body, medium, and mild cigars. So for instance, I have these undercrowns where I have a Maduro, a sun-grown, as well as a shade, which is your Connecticut more mild cigar. So today I want to get something to smoke for myself, as well as try and guess something for our guest who is coming today. Mr. Chris Jackson. I think I have an idea of what he would like to smoke, but we'll see if I can pick his palate. Speaking of Chris Jackson is someone who has their finger on the pulse of the city of Inglewood. And in case you didn't know, the city of Inglewood is hot. I mean, like Kobe Bryant, Black Mamba, scoring 81 points, hot. With 2 NFL teams opening a brand new, beautiful, state-of-the-art stadium, the Clippers following the same, and that just being the tip of the iceberg, the momentum has definitely swung in favor of Inglewood. And Chris Jackson is someone who has his hands in all kinds of things throughout this city, so I'm really looking forward to getting to talk to him and you guys getting to meet him. Right now, I'll go ahead and pick our cigars. I think for myself, today, I'm going to enjoy a Julius Caesar, and I'm going to make 2 selections for Mr. Jackson, something that he enjoys quite often, which is a cremoso, and then I'm going to give him a personal recommendation for a mild cigar in this undercrown shade, very smooth Connecticut. So we're going to welcome him to the Stogie Shop. So let's go get him and have a conversation and see what's going on in the city of Inglewood. Thank you for stopping by the Stogie Shop, Chris. It's good to see you here today.
Great to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to join us on your busy schedule.
Absolutely.
Now, before you arrived, I was talking to the audience about what you might want to smoke while you're with us today. I said, my man, it's early. He's going to want to do something probably a little mild, more mild than on the medium side. Yeah. And I know, so I took the liberty of picking out a few sticks, and the first one I thought was the cremoso, because I know you like to go with those.
That's a beautiful stick.
Yeah.
I love this stick.
But instead of that today, I was going to recommend something a little different. This is the Undercrown Shade.
Oh,
that is a very smooth Connecticut smoke.
Perfect for the morning.
Yeah, I think it's the smoothest mild cigar that we have in the shop. And I think you're going to love that. I myself am going to go with the Julius Caesar.
You would go with the Julius Caesar.
Well, I thought since I was wearing my purple today that this Julius Caesar fit right in. This is a mild to medium smoke, and this is a phenomenal smoke as well. So you want to go ahead
and man.
We'll get these guys in gear.
You know what's interesting, Jakeem, is I rarely get to smoke in the morning because I'm running into the office. So
I can imagine.
This is a treat, my friend.
Well, that's good.
This is a treat.
I'm glad we're able to partake together. I'm gonna give myself a little V cut. You're able to cut whatever, however you want. Yes, sir.
Perfect.
And I have a little heat for us.
You got a little heat?
I got a little heat.
That's good.
That heat is the key word in the city of Inglewood right now, because this city is hot.
It is.
Oh my goodness. There's so much going on in Inglewood. I'm glad you're going to be able to enlighten us about what's happening.
A lot of good things, man.
Yeah.
Amazing where we come.
So, I say, who is Chris Jackson? Well, from my vantage point, Chris Jackson is a family man. He is the head of economic development and community development in the city of Inglewood. He is a former entrepreneur like myself.
Absolutely.
He also is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, an ordained minister, a cigar enthusiast, and a cycling enthusiast as well.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
Man, that's a lot of hats.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of hats, brother. I don't know how I keep them all going, brother. It's absolutely amazing that I keep it going.
It must keep your life exciting, though.
It does. It does.
That's
it does.
great. That's great. How long you been with the city of Inglewood?
I've been with the city, I started in 2008, believe it or not. And so now I'm approaching 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What made you leave a lucrative business of your own and go?
Well, it's kind of ironic. I started out, I'm a product of the inner city of Los Angeles. I grew up in Nickerson Gardens housing project right here in South Los Angeles. I was bused. I was that first busing class that went out to the San Fernando Valley.
Really?
So I ended up at, I did my junior high school there. Now they call it middle school, but but it's junior high back in the day.
Right.
And then my high school at Reseda High School, where I graduated. From there, I went on to Cal Poly Pomona, studying architecture. Changed that over to urban and regional planning, and then entered my career into planning. Got into planning, loved it, matriculated up very rapidly. And then I got introduced to financial services, and I just fell in love with financial services and ended up leaving planning to run my business. So I did that for about 15 years.
I see. So this is not your first time in planning.
No.
You came back.
I came back to finish. I did extremely well in financial services and decided to come back and finish up my first love, which was urban and regional planning. So.
That's great. So you get a lot of satisfaction, or you wouldn't have gone back. You wouldn't have left a business that was doing as well as you were doing.
No, absolutely. What happened was, sometimes in business, sorry, this is good. Sometimes in business, you got to make difficult choices. And for me, one of the choices that I made was, it was taking a toll on my family. And when you're in business, it's 24/7, right? And so
Tell me about it.
With my wife and the kids and all the pressures that was coming, I was about to cave in to go through probably another divorce. And I made a decision that I really needed to stabilize my life again.
Wow.
So I made a decision to go back into planning and then work on my relationship with my wife, who the rest is history.
Yeah, because you guys are doing wonderful.
Doing fantastic, yeah.
Wow. Now, in 13 years, I know everybody's talked about how gentrification affects an area and everything. I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes in Inglewood.
Absolutely. It's when I first came to Inglewood, I actually left working for the city of Santa Clarita and came over to Inglewood. Prior to that, I was with the city of LA. So I like to hop around with a lot of different jobs. I don't think I've worked for at least a dozen cities. And I don't think I've spent more than 2, maybe 3 years at a city. So being here for 12, 13 years of my life is a phenomenal accomplishment for me. Normally I get bored in my positions. I crescendo, and then if the opportunities aren't there, I move on. Right. And as you know, in corporate America and municipal government, you can get stuck into things and be stuck in a position for your entire career and never matriculate up.
Like the minor leagues in baseball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Your whole career in the minors and never, swing the bat in the majors. So.
Well, that's great that you have been able to go to the positions that you've been able to go to.
Absolutely.
And the position that you're currently in gives you access to everything that seems to be going on in the city.
Yeah. Started out as a planner.
Right.
And I was just a regular planner in the department when I came there, and matriculated myself all the way up to the director level. I always knew I had it in me. I didn't know if it was going to be Inglewood, but I love the city of Inglewood.
Yeah.
I've never worked for a city where, it's brown and black community. It looks and reflects like me. Most of the cities I worked for were not, not, of that makeup. And the result of that means that I always felt like I was doing something for somebody else and not my own.
Right.
So being able to come here, as much as I love working for those other cities and doing the wonderful things I was able to do in Whittier, in LA, in San Dimas, in Tustin, but to be able to be in Inglewood and come in this community, it was really shocking for a lot of my friends because they go, "What are you doing?" They thought I was tanking my career.
Oh.
Here I am rising.
Right.
And now you're going to go to Inglewood?
Right.
But I knew what was going on in Inglewood.
Wow, it's such a unique situation.
Absolutely.
I think the size of the city plays into that.
Absolutely.
The location of the city, it's central to everything.
Everything. It's the hub.
Yeah.
And, at the end of the day, it's, we call ourselves the City of Champions. We're the jewel of the South Bay because where we're situated, around the freeways, near LAX, near the beaches, you can, you can go anywhere in a very short period of time, and the traffic is reasonable for the LA basin.
Right.
And so it really is accessible.
It's amazing. I had no idea when we landed here on this part of La Brea, not one block north, that by being in the city of Inglewood, our experience would be so much different than if we had been dealing with the city of LA.
Yeah.
That large municipality versus this small city where we've been able to get assistance, we've been able to get support through your office.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chris
I was there
Jackson
at the
is one of the
beginning.
most instrumental people in the development of Drobe Stogies, no question. He's helped us out with numerous things that we've had to get through in order to get to this position here in year 4 of our existence in Inglewood. And it's been such a blessing. I really appreciate your support.
Yeah.
I had no idea when I met you that you were going to be such an intricate part of our development, but it's been wonderful, brother.
Yeah, it was great. We met in the conference. I remember I got the call from a councilman, and he said, "Hey, I need you to talk to these guys who want to do the cigar lounge." So I'm in my office, eyes rolling in the back of my head. Here we go again. 'Cause there are countless times
Oh my God.
where I have to deal with folks who are trying to be in business. And here are these two bright-eyed, bushy-tailed guys who come in. And I think the first thing I asked them was how serious were they about what they were going to do? And then some logistical questions that I had. And when they answered those questions, I was all in terms of helping you guys get where you need to go. So this is a result.
If you want to come open a business in Inglewood, you need to talk to this man. All the money that rolls in this city and rolls through this city goes through his office, and he is excellent at helping deal with people as small as Drobe Stogies, to dealing with NFL billionaires, to dealing with the NBA, to dealing with all of the things that are coming through this city. The train development, the park development. Inglewood is just going through a transformation that I am, as a resident of this area, I grew up in this area.
Right.
I saw when my parents moved over in this area as a kid, Inglewood was still predominantly white.
Yeah.
And as I grew up, the city started to change. And once I came back to California, I see it's changing again, and it's amazing. And people like you and the mayor are doing wonderful things and in great positions, and everybody's helping each other, I think.
Yeah, it's exciting because the negative aspects of white flight that occurred during the 60s because of the migration of African Americans in particular into what were at one time exclusively white areas, the changing of the national laws with regard to housing and what effect that had. And so at the time, it was, I think, for a lot of African Americans, it was very disheartening to finally have an opportunity to be able to come into an area, to be able to, that word matriculate up, to take advantage of the American dream, just to see the individuals who they were aspiring to be like, to leave.
Right.
And so, and we went as most communities do, you go through this transformation of where you're trying to figure out who you are.
Right.
You know, that example that you had has gone.
Right.
And now you're trying to figure out, what do I want to be? And Inglewood was always a sleepy neighborhood. It was always an educational hub, but it had some difficult aspects of it. And that unfortunately made most of the news.
Correct.
Not the hardworking folks who were buying homes in the avenues. And no, it was the folks who were struggling, and you had a little gang violence that was occurring. And that was happening, by the way, almost in every community.
Right.
But it was really emphasized in cities like Inglewood and Compton and Watts. They really, the media actually emphasized it, and actually made it even bigger than it was.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
As a product of Nickerson Gardens, you know, people ask me, they thought it was Beirut most of the time, you know, where no.
Right.
I played basketball and
Right.
softball, and me and
Right.
my friends played in the street, and we rode bikes. We did all of those things like normal kids,
Yeah.
except there was a ugly side to the community, and it usually creeped up on Friday evening and
Right,
Saturday.
Saturday night. Yeah, yeah. My dad grew up across the street,
There you
so
go.
I know that what I heard in school and on the radio and television as a child was different than what my experience was when we went to visit my grandpa.
Right.
But I did know that danger was there. But Inglewood has definitely changed. You got a lot of new opportunities that are coming through. Are there any things that our audience might be aware of, like people from other cities can take advantage of?
Yeah. I think one of the things that's very attractive, you know, we're in COVID-19, the pandemic.
Correct.
And, you know, I just want to say to everybody, make sure you wear your mask,
Yes.
because we want to be safe. And we want to put ourselves in a situation. You see, we're situated apart from each other.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's a difficult time now because you can't do the traditional gathering that you normally would have. But there's a lot of construction activity going on. So if you happen to be in the construction trades, now is a phenomenal time for you almost everywhere across the country, but in particular here in Inglewood. You see construction cranes up everywhere.
Yes,
You see
everywhere.
the hustle and bustle. You see big trucks. You see the activity going on. You see all of our road improvements that we've done, and you've seen it since you've been here.
Absolutely.
I mean, our roads have gone from being the worst to being the best.
Oh, absolutely.
And to the extent that some other areas are trying to duplicate what we have now, because how can Inglewood outdo them? Especially those were more luxurious and upper end areas that
Images,
now
yeah.
you come into Inglewood and it's smooth as a bell. So shout out to our Public Works Director and Assistant City Manager, Louis Atwell, has done a phenomenal job. And of course the mayor leading all of this. But in terms of the activities, one exciting thing that's happening right now is the Business Connect program. We have the Super Bowl coming in 2022.
You have a million things coming.
That's right.
Like.
Of the many things we're doing, the Super Bowl is coming. And so my economic development manager, Ms. Sharon Mann-Garrett, is helping spearhead getting as many local businesses involved in the Business Connect program with the NFL as possible. We have in the city a city certification program, which is really exciting, where we'll certify you. So you're certified by the city. You don't have to go through a whole bunch of hoops as far as the Business Connect is concerned with the NFL. And then you'll be placed in an opportunity to be able to bid on all of these activities going to be occurring. And you're talking about, you know, $1 billion worth of revenue flowing through doing that Super Bowl week. So we're excited about that. There's job opportunities for individuals, but you know, I love the entrepreneurial spirit coming from that background.
Correct.
I want to see businesses come up and thrive, and that's why we're committed to helping local businesses do well. We have within all of our agreements that we do local hire in our agreements. We have minority business placement in our agreements, so that these individuals that are coming in with these billions of dollars have to use local businesses and prefer them in terms of activity that's going on with from the construction side all the way to the activity side. We were just talking about getting droves involved with that.
Yeah. That gives an opportunity for all those that are already here to still have a chance to ride this wave up.
Yeah, because you talked about gentrification, and one of the things about, you know, gentrification has kind of morphed into how you view it.
Right.
At one time, it really was a devaluing of an area so that a certain population could come in and then the value would raise and they would benefit from that.
Right.
It's now, our version of gentrification is just, Inglewood is the perfect location.
Absolutely.
It's the utopia of all of this area in terms of transportation and access. So now you see people coming back.
Right.
who are not necessarily, and I would say, when you get into indigenous populations, it's a question of who was first, chicken or the egg, right?
Right.
And so in this particular environment, you have people coming back because they left and went far out, and now they realize this is the place to be. And we just want to make sure that we continue to have that diversification here in the city. And we believe diversification is a great thing.
I believe so.
We need to have all nationalities and all people. That was the whole point. We talked about that early white flight. The point of African Americans moving into those areas was not to drive them out, it was to be part of.
Right.
We want to be that quote unquote salad bowl.
Well, there's a wonderful opportunity now in the current climate for blacks and everybody who's around here to invest and start businesses and take advantage of what's going on.
And sometimes I'll add to that, Jakeem, because it's a great point. Sometimes the best time seems like the worst time.
Absolutely. During chaos is opportunity, always.
There is tremendous opportunity.
Yes.
So when you came in, I remember when you and Ryan were talking, you overpaid for things.
Yeah.
And you really had some words about that.
Yeah. That was
you paid a whole lot more than we thought. And I told you it's going to be the best investment you made. And I think
God. We had a decision to make on another place that was outside of Inglewood, but very close to here, less than 2 miles away. And it was going to be located across the street from one of the train developments as well.
Right.
But this absolutely turned out to be the best decision. The growth, all the boats are rising with this water here in Inglewood. So I'm so happy that we chose to listen to you and open up shop here.
I'm glad too.
God put you where you're supposed to be.
Absolutely.
I'm a firm believer of that. So.
And let me say, when you guys walked in the room, as a minister, I operate on different levels. And so there's the carnal level where it's just human to human. Right. And then there's the spiritual level.
Yeah.
And I always, when I walk in, I walk out, I always ask what spiritually is going on with these individuals. Are they good people? Their hearts feel right, their spirits feel right. Both of you guys felt right. And I remember walking back, and I told the councilman after, I said, they're going to do well.
Yeah.
And sure enough, you guys.
Well, thank you. We hope to keep adding on top of that.